Use it or lose it. That's a common phrase in today's world. But also, according to Jesus, you should use your gifts now because it matters for eternity, and you don't want to lose it there. Jesus said, use your gifts. Good morning, and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy-to-remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said, and the point is to help you experience life to the fullest the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Matthew 25, 14 through 19, and we'll be reading from the NET translation today. Jesus said, "For it is like a man going on a journey who summoned his slaves and entrusted his property to them." Now, before we go on, Jesus is giving this parable, talking about what the kingdom is like. Verse 15, to one, he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his own ability. Then he went on his journey. The one who had received 5 talents went off right away and put his money to work and gained 5 more. In the same way, the one who had 2 gained 2 more. But the one who had received 1 talent went out and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money in it. After a long time, the master of those slaves came and settled his accounts with them. Now, we're going to come back to this parable, but the end of the story, when the master returned, each had to give an account for these talents. A talent is an amount of money, and we'll go into more detail about that in a minute. But it was his money. It was the master's property, not theirs. And the end of this story, the one with 5 who made 5 more, well done. I'll give you more responsibility. Let's celebrate. The one with 2 who made 2 more, well done. Same celebration. And the one who hid it and saved his master's money, he was called a wicked and lazy servant. Why not at least put it in the bank? And so it was taken away from him and given to the one who had the most, the one who has 10. And here's what Jesus said about that in the New Living Translation, Matthew 25, 29 through 30. To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. And this is the scary part, verse 30. Now throw this useless servant into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now that seems pretty harsh for protecting and not losing the master's money. But this is in a series of kingdom stories. And in order to really understand this, we need to also understand what a talent is. A talent in this day was a huge sum of money. It was equal to 6,000 denarii, and 1 denarius was the usual day's wages for a worker. So it was a lot of money. And depending on how you calculate it, each talent would be from $600,000 to $1.5 million. And conservatively, 5 talents would be $3 million, and 2 talents would be $1.2 million. So the important points were that they were given a lot, but what they were given wasn't theirs. It was the master's money. And keeping the master's money safe wasn't the point. Investing to multiply was what was commended. And this is a pattern since creation, the model of creation, kind after kind. Be fruitful and multiply. Jesus said, you're chosen to bear fruit. He called his disciples and us fishers of men. We're commanded to go make disciples, teaching them to obey. Why? Because obedience multiplies. And when we invest what has been given to us, when we invest our gifts into the kingdom of God, the fruit grows on other people's trees. And here's who we should be investing in. The rest of Matthew 25, Jesus talks about the least of these. And he says that if you do it not for one of the least of these, you didn't do it for him. Or if you do it for the least of these, you do it for Jesus. So the important thing here is to realize that the good things that you have been given to you, and they are your gifts. And we will be evaluated by how we use our gifts. So how are you using what God has given you? Are you hanging on to it and hiding it? Or is it multiplying for the good of others. Jesus said, use your gifts. I mean, pretty much use it or lose it. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it does mean a lot when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.